Do you have a stood-up story? A,
What's that?
a worst instance of you being stood up in
Oh.
the music industry by someone or something?
Oh, not in the music industry, no. No, I don't. No, like whenever I have a session with a big artist, big producer, small, whatever, they show up.
What about on the opposite end of the spectrum? Have you stood somebody up yourself?
Yes, unfortunately, yeah, I have. But it's always for good reason. I either don't feel well or I'm like something popped up that was like more important. Maybe I have to go get a bag where it's like, oh, I thought I could do it, but I can't. But I don't really think that's standing you up. Like I'm giving you a good reason. I'm letting you know.
Was there ever one of those type of scenarios that just whatever was supposed to happen, it never ended up happening? Like, for example, maybe you're supposed to link up with a producer and you had one of these reasons and then you never ended up linking up with that producer ever again or had the chance to. Like maybe somebody's coming into town. Hey, I'm here. Let's do this. You're like, okay, cool. But then you get sick, you can't do it, and you never get a chance to reconnect with that
No,
person.
that's actually never happened. I always say life is like full circle. So if I'm meant to work with someone, somehow it always finds me again and we work together.
Now, what about this?
Mhm.
Do you have a passed on story? A worst instance of you being passed on in the music industry by someone or something?
Yeah. Signed. They passed me on sign. No, but that's probably like my the most embarrassing moment in the industry because everybody saw it. You know, like a lot of things, like if you're not on TV, you can kind of keep it low key. Like a lot of people won't know about it. But that was a moment that 3 million people saw on a popular television network. So probably that one.
Now, this was this considered a reality television series?
Yeah, so it was like a reality TV competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long was it filmed before it ended up going publicly?
Maybe like between 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
And then
that,
it aired.
okay, so you already knew, you already went through the scenario,
Yeah.
you know exactly what
Yeah.
happened, how it happened. Did you get a chance to see what the final cut looked like before it went out on TV
No.
publicly?
I saw it with everybody else. So I already knew. Okay, so I already knew I was going home. But I think when I was going home for reasons outside of music, which a lot of people didn't know, but I think it was the way that I got eliminated. Like, it was kind of like, it didn't make sense. And even viewers were like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why is she going home? But it was because stuff had happened behind the scenes that I had to go home.
Is that anything you want to shed light on what actually happened?
Just arguments, almost got into a physical fight. So, had to get on out of there.
A physical fight with someone on the set?
Yeah. Yep.
Something you want to leave right there? Or?
I'll leave that right there.
Okay. So when you said this was something that was seen publicly, and I can't remember how you phrased it. Did you say this is something you were embarrassed about?
I was embarrassed.
Okay,
yeah. And I'm never embarrassed, really. Rarely when it comes to like music and stuff, but I was embarrassed about that.
So were you embarrassed on what the actual final cut looked like that people saw, or you were just embarrassed that you had gotten cut and you already knew about how things?
It was a two-parter because a lot of people thought I was gonna win. So it was kind of like I felt like, dang, I kind of let them down. And then at the same time, it was like their reasoning didn't make sense. So now I'm dealing with that as well. Like, oh, well, they just wanted to eliminate her to eliminate her. She wasn't good. But when I really know why I got eliminated. So it was just, and then I cried like on national TV. Oh my gosh. It was really embarrassing. So to see that, like to see myself crying, everybody else got to see me crying. I was like, wow, this is really embarrassing. I mean, it showed that I was human because a lot of people feel like artists, like we put ourselves on this pedestal. I'm on TV. She doesn't have emotion. She doesn't care. But I did. I cared a lot.
How'd you deal with being embarrassed?
I just got off the internet. I got off the internet. My mom talked to me and keep living.
How long were you off the internet before you jumped back on?
Probably like a week. a week because, my mom's like my biggest crutch. So when I'm going through my tough time, she's like, man, you got this. Like, you're great. It's okay. Pick your head up. You keep living to see another day. Like, come on. Don't let this get you under. So.
When you finally jump back on the internet, though, turn your comments off, tried to block things, block from seeing...
We didn't even have that at the time. You couldn't even turn your comments off during this time. So I had to take it off. But we had archives, so like there were certain things like I would archive that dealt with the show so that I didn't have to see people comment on that. Like, why'd you get eliminated? You got eliminated, all that.
Never have publicly spoke out about what had happened behind the scenes or never addressed it?
No, it was just a fight between me and somebody on the show. And the producers basically just told me, like, because I'm the type of person, and this is really bad, I'm working on this, but when I get into a fight, I'm already there. Like, I'm on the 10th degree, so it's really hard to calm me down. And it was in a lobby of a hotel. So it wasn't just production security, it was hotel security. Everybody just kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going on? It's a mess right now. And they kind of just told me, like, you're too, what was the word they used? Too hostile, basically. Like, you're too hostile. We don't know if we could trust you guys in the same hotel.
Now, were they going to air any of this?
No. That's why I looked so dumb when I got eliminated, because I had just gave a great performance. Then some things happened behind the scenes, maybe like a day or two in between before eliminations. So now when we get to elimination, the general public is just like, she just gave a great performance. You guys liked it. So a lot of people just chalked it up to my image. And I was like, it really wasn't that at that time, but a lot of people felt like, okay, well, it must have been her image then, if they eliminated her. So I just let them think that. I've actually never spoke on it. So.
It was more so a liability for the show, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I messed up, too, because, like, with reality TV, they're going to paint you the way they want to paint you. So they had already made me seem very aggressive. And then when I'm actually showing them that in real time, because I was provoked and antagonized, and now I'm reacting to it, I was just on level 10 to where when they asked me, like, are you good? I'm like, no. Like, every time I see her, it's going to be an issue. So when you're saying that to production and crew, it's kind of like, oh, okay. Well, you got to go then. So that's why I got sent home.
Why not let the other person go if they were antagonizing you? Why did it have to be you?
I think it was, I'm going to be honest, I think it was because of me. Because if you're asking me, hey, are you good? Like, are you okay? No, every time I see her in the hotel, it's going down. Like, I was young, hothead, so I just felt like I didn't think I was going to get eliminated, and that's how ignorant I was at the time, not understanding this is still a set. They're still trying to make good TV. They're still trying to make a show, but they don't want you guys killing each other either. So I was a little too honest with them when I said, it's always going to be an issue. It's up and it's stuck. I was saying that before it was a thing, and they sent me home.
Now, why was this stuff not aired? Because to someone on the outside looking in, that would be great drama for any show, is two people fighting and getting messy.
It was so real that it was no cameras around. That's how real it was. Like, it was one of those things, like, we had real issues where it was like, well, there's no cameras, so, like, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? But not understanding that's the wrong time and place. But I was antagonized. I didn't start with her. She started with me. I just finished it.
Why don't you think, okay, even though there were no cameras around, why don't you think that was part of the storyline? Okay, we have to let her go because some stuff had happened.
I think it was one of those things of, like, reality TV, they're going to paint the story that they want to paint. And I think they wanted to paint this story of, like, it's not all about rap. For a female rapper, it's not all about rap, because that was my thing when I first came in there. I'm lyrical, I'm a rapper, I'm this. But it was like, I think they wanted to paint it like, okay, but there's so much more that has to go into being a rapper. So it was like I was the one that was easily dismissible.
What do you think would have happened if you never got physical with this person?
I would have definitely, I honestly feel like I would have won. I feel like I would have won because even, like, some of the judges, I'm not going to give specific names, but some of the judges have been seen outside of the show, and it's like, man, you dope. have even told my mom, like, your daughter is, like, special. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to rap. So I feel like, I honestly feel like I would have won.
If you would have won, what do you think would have happened to you and your career? Is that something you ever thought about?
No, I really
Like,
don't.
just
Because, like,
hypothetically speaking?
you know, I never really thought about that because even, it's just like artists that get signed, you still have to put in the groundwork yourself. So even if I would have got signed, got that stamp, I still have to do the groundwork. I still got to go back to Houston and be like, all right, this is my team. This is what we got to do. We got to get this done. But, so I don't know. I've never really thought about that.
What'd your mom think at the time?
My mom basically thought that I should have handled it differently. And those were words that I needed to hear, because I really value my mom's opinion. So just to have her say, like, man, you let something stop your bag, you let something stop your opportunity, that really wasn't even that deep. I needed that.
Now, again, you may have answered this already.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, this next question, if it sounds like something you answered already on this topic, then you can skip it or add on to it. And if you haven't, feel free to give an answer. But what did that entire experience teach you? What did you learn from all of that?
It taught me about professionalism and how there's a time and a place for everything. And that's so crazy to hear me say because I grew up on TV. But this was the one incident where my mom wasn't around. There was nobody really there to guide me. And it was kind of like God was putting me out there myself. Okay, how are you going to handle this, Jazz? And I didn't handle it appropriately at all. So now I know business is business and never let anything get in the way of that.
If you could turn back the hands of time, would you have done anything different?
No. I stand on what I did. I stand on what I said, but it is one of those things. It's a learning experience. But I'm not a regretful person at all anyway. So,
what do you wish you knew before you became a part of that show?
That it was about TV and ratings, and that I'm gonna be in drama, but to understand, okay, still, and I'm not gonna say I wasn't true to myself because I was. But don't let anybody get you out of your character. You're here for the music, put it in the music, and leave it at that.
What do you want people watching this interview to know about reality TV competitions?
Honestly, it's really not about your talent. And they're there to make a show. They're there to get ratings. They're there to have people watch and tune in. So you could be just used as a pawn. They might change the narrative up on you about who you are. If you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. So just be prepared for anything.
Now, circumstances could be different for everyone, but generally speaking, any tips, any tricks, any advice for somebody on a reality TV competition, other than what you just said prior to this question? I know you said something about be prepared, but anything else, or is that pretty much it there?
I would just say, like, just focus and focus on yourself. Like, something we do, too, the competition show that I was on is, like, you're always together. So you feel like you can confide in people. You have friends. There's no friends in the industry, like Drake said. It's really not. So when you're doing a competition show, you have to understand everybody's here for the same thing. So you have to focus and not let anybody get you out of your character and knock you out of your place.
Anything else you want to mention about a reality TV show competition or question I didn't ask people want to know about it?
No, I think just with reality TV in general, just be careful because editing will have you looking crazy, for sure.
And you have absolutely no say-so in that?
No, you have none. Like, you don't even see the episodes until they air unless you're like an executive producer or something like that. But most people aren't. We're just cast. We're talent. So if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Like, if I say something, how you film it all the way through, they're the type, they'll pull something out that I say, chop it up, put it here, and now they got me saying something totally different. That's literally how editing works. So just be careful.
Can a cast member like you were once yourself say, all right, I really cried in an ugly way. I look terrible on camera. Can you guys not use that?
No. You don't have that say-so or that power at all.
Or request? Can't even request it?
No.
Can't even say, hey, guys, don't make me look too bad.
No, because you're not even... No, because I was going to say you don't see it beforehand, but, like, I knew I cried, but I knew they were going to air that because they need those ratings. That's what gets people in tune. So you can't really request things like that when you're just a talent, unless you're very powerful, even though you're still the talent, like, in some cases.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. I'm going to say it was worth it because a lot of people who didn't know about me before the show knew about me after the show. And they were able to see my real talent when they go to my Instagram, my Twitter. They were able to be like, oh, she's really good, though. So it was worth it.
Did you use that show, even though you got cut, even though you didn't win, did you use that show to your advantage? Did you maximize?
No, I didn't because I wanted to go back to the drawing board. And I feel like after that show, I kind of got in my own head, which that is one thing I wish I wouldn't have done, and I would have just kept going and not, let that get me in a slump. But after that show, I did kind of take a break for a bit.
What's your opinion on reality TV competitions now?
I don't watch the music ones. So, like, I'll watch the cooking ones, like Master Chef and Hell's Kitchen and stuff like that. But other than that, I know that when it comes to the talent-based ones, musically, it's not about that. Even on, like, the chef show I watch, I can tell sometimes they're fabricating stories or trying to make things look larger than life that probably were minuscule. So I just know what it is.
Anything else on the subject of reality TV competitions while we're at it?
No.
Okay, and my last question on my original topic, I asked you originally, have you been passed on? Was there a passed on story in the music industry that you experienced? And you said, yeah, the show. What about on the opposite end of the spectrum? Have you passed on anybody or anything and look back and, man, I could have been a part of this if I didn't. Was there an opportunity you were offered or?
You know what? I pass on, like, shows and deals a lot of times because I'm one of those people that I want my career to be a certain way. And I know some things are not God's plan and don't fit into where I'm trying to go with my career. So, yeah, I've passed on a couple deals for sure.
What about artists? Have artists, well, I don't know. I know you're an artist yourself, but I don't know if any artist has come to you and say, hey, can you help me get signed? Maybe you can sign. I don't know.
Oh,
Has that ever happened?
No.
Has somebody wanted to be your protege or something like that, and now they've blown up and they're on to?
No, I've had requests for me to write for female rappers, and I say no.
Why?
Because my style is my style. My wordplay is my wordplay, and I just feel like the same way I had to learn my craft, I want them to learn their craft and, get better at their craft and improve. I feel like we can all eat, but let's eat the right way. Don't try to take off my plate to fill your plate.
For the record, have you ever done that before? Wrote for someone?
Yes, but not female rappers that I know or that I look out and see have more followers than me, or not even more followers than me, but signed or something like that. Like, I don't write for them when I'm asked to. I don't write.
Okay. But you've been asked by some notable people?
Yeah. I'm not going to say them.
I understand your reasoning, but has anyone ever took offense to that reasoning?
If they did, they didn't tell me. So it's not something that I could speak on, but a lot of these rappers be having big camps anyway. So I don't think me not being a part of the camp is hindering them. I know it didn't hinder them because they still making music.
And for time reference, it's October 2021 now.